Bigfoot Cooking.
Welcome to El Cafe de la Foot, where today's special is salmon or salmon, depending on where you're from. Will you be requiring a menu?
Oh no, I know what I want. Can I get a smoked salmon with a sweet glaze on top, please?
We'll have that coming right up for you, hon. And as for you, sir?
I would like a brined maple glazed salmon as well. Thank you.
Mr. Benson, brining a salmon can take 12 to 24 hours. Are you sure you want to wait that long?
Absolutely. I can stay right here and stare into Becky May's eyes the whole night.
Oh, Benson, look at you being all romantic and everything.
Very good then. Well, let me get started on your order. What Benson doesn't know is that I've already had some that's been brining overnight. Oh yeah, we were prepared for this order. Ooh, and this is going to be so good. We are going to make your brined and your regular today. That's right, we are pulling double duty on the smoker. And back to our other scientific comparison, we are going to put them on a piece of butcher paper and a piece of parchment paper, just to see if there's a difference. I'm really trying to find a best case use for butcher paper other than maybe a brisket, which we haven't done that yet, but it's coming soon. So little scientific test, a little bit of fish cooking. Let's get started. Welcome to Bigfoot Cooking. Now, of course, to start this party, we're going to talk about our salmon or salmon. You're going to hear me say both during this whole episode. I don't know. I'm salmodextrous, I guess you'd say. When you first get these, you see how nice and pretty they look in the package? They're a little bit bigger than what you see because the tail is tucked in and the belly is tucked in. It makes it look nicer in the package. You do get the meat, but it's not quite all that you see. So let's open this guy up and let me show you what's actually hiding. All right, now we're out of the package. Looks the same, right? But oh wait, there's a hidden secret. You always get a little more tail and you get a little more tummy. There. So now you have the whole fillet. Notice how we have a little height difference. You're kind of thicker here and thinner here. What I'm going to do, so that way they smoke evenly, I'm actually going to take a small section of the tail off, and I'm going to take this little section of underbelly off. That, well, we'll fry up with a little butter, salt, and pepper, and we'll just have that snack on while we're smoking all of this. Yeah, chef surprise. It's still great cuts, but, well, I just don't want to smoke them. They're so thin, they're going to cook too quick, and I want to get that smoke flavor a little more into it. That's why, these make great little fried snacks for later. So now we've got our skin on. That's right, you can get it skin on or skin off. You can take the skin off yourself, but for what we're prepping today, I want to keep the skin on. But what I'm going to do is first and foremost, check for pin bones. Usually you can find them when you eat them, but you don't want to find them in the, oh my God, I just poked a hole in my mouth and I'm bleeding and I'm choking and call 911 and all of that stuff. So it's much easier just right now while you've got it raw, take your fingers and just massage the meat and see where are the pin bones. Now, most of the commercial stuff you get, you won't have pin bones in it. They do a pretty good job of taking them all out, but it's not guaranteed. So that's why you want to check yourself. All right, after a massage, I don't have any to pull out to show you what I was talking about. So just trust me, they're in there. And when you see them, just grab a pair of tweezers or pliers or chainsaw or whatever you want and just pluck them right out. Sometimes they come out by hand if you got a good grip on the fingers. Other times you'll have to convince them a little bit. So now what I want to do is take this and turn it into more of serving size as opposed to the whole thing. So that way it smokes up a little better. So I'm going to cut these into about 3-inch fillets. So let's get to the chop, chop, chop. All right, we got some real pretty looking fish right here. Tell you what, this is going to cook up nicely. And like you see, this is a pretty decent little serving size. It's one that if you eat this and you're still hungry, you can eat 2 and still not have a lot of guilt in your life, So now you've seen how to prepare your filet. Let me tell you about this one here, the one that was brined all night. That's right. I didn't record it because it was about 10 o'clock. I was laying in bed and it was kind of a last minute decision to go ahead and do this. So Sorry guys, but I will tell you the process. Not very difficult. For the brine on this thing, I used a cup of brown sugar, a cup of maple syrup, a quarter cup of salt, 4 cups of water, and 2 tablespoons of pepper. Mixed all that together, prepped this fish just like I did this one, and basically put it in the water and let it soak in there all night. I had to actually take and put a weight on top of it to keep it down in the water because it wanted to float. I used one of my strainer and just a glass of water to kind of help hold it. That way I made sure the brine got on everything. And then when I got up this morning, what I did, I went to the sink, I took the brine, and basically you want to rinse it all off. If you don't, you're gonna have a really salty, funky tasting piece. And that's not what you're after in this process. So yes, it seems kind of odd to wash off what you just spent all night putting on, but you didn't just put it on, you put it in. Because the sugars and the salts and everything soak into the meat. And there's a little bit of exchange of power because it gives up some of its extra moisture in the process. So that's how you get a little different texture in your salmon. Now, when I pulled this out, what I also did, I dried it off and I set it on this rack. Now it's been sitting here at room temperature on this rack for about 2-3 hours, somewhere in there. And what it's done, it's let this surface, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it has a shine to it and it's just a little bit tacky. That sugar that was in it is kind of coming back out and it's giving it it's just gonna be a sweet glaze through and through the meat. So that's the difference between the brine and the not brine. The not brine, you're gonna have those same flavors, but they're not gonna have all night to penetrate into the meat. So then I've explained to you about the dry brine. Well, let's go ahead and do our today brine, for lack of a better word. We're gonna do a cure that we're gonna place on top of the other one. And for that, well, we need a cure. Let's mix it up. Now for this cure, again, pretty simple. I try to keep ingredients a little simple. I'm not looking for this magical, mystical, one flavor molecule that grows on the 3rd row of the 5th mountain in the desert west of the Gobi. These are all things you can buy at the grocery store, so it keeps life simple. We're starting out, we got 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of just regular table pepper, and 1 tablespoon of paprika. And we're just gonna mix it up. Now the nice thing about paprika, one, when you're smoking, it helps it's an easy color. I mean, it makes it look beautiful. It also adds flavor to it as well, but just in the, eating with your eyes, the visual aspect of it, you see it before you eat it. Ooh, the paprika looks just, I don't know, it just looks good. Sometimes that counts as much as tasting good, right? All right, we've got our rubbed rub. Now, let me get the fish here and space it out again. I don't know why I pushed it together. Well, let's space it out and let's put the cure, the marinade, let's put the flavor on the top of it and let it soak in for a bit, shall we? Now also, when you think you have enough on here, don't rub it to get the little corners that you've missed. Pat it in, that way it pushes it into the meat a little bit and you don't have any of those bald spots. Now for me, the exception to the rule is kind of the sides. It's kind of hard to get spices to stick to it. So occasionally you just gotta pick it up and, rub it in. Now just in the time that I have put this on to getting everything coated, that salt is actually pulling out some of the extra moisture in here. And this is already getting tacky to where, well, it's sticking to the fingers. So about, like I say, 5-10 minutes at the most right here. And then we are ready to put these babies on the smoker. And once again, we're trying out the difference between parchment paper and butcher paper. You don't really have to on salmon, especially with skin on, but, well, it makes cleanup easier. It kind of keeps it together and you don't have to worry about it flaking apart. With it cut this size, it's kind of tougher to do it, but if you were doing a whole fillet, to put that whole thing on one piece of paper kind of gives you a handle, so you can just kind of pull it off and set it on and move it, and, well, preference, So next shot, outside of the smoker. All right, let's fire up the favorite Father's Day gift ever. Tough thing to do here. We just reach down and hit the power button. Yeah, pellets already loaded in the back. Machine's already cleaned out. This thing, It's almost like cheating using this smoker compared to the double barrel smoker I'm used to, because it does everything. Now we're gonna open the door, so that way when it first lights off, it helps it get a little bit of breath of fresh air in there. Once we get a little bit of smoke, we'll close it, and then we'll turn the switch down to smoke. And that way, well, by the time that happens, I'll be back out with the salmon. Ooh. And don't forget to put water in it, because the water will help with the humidity, and well, it just helps keep everything tasting right. You don't want dry fish. Oh no, we want the best salmon we can get out of this smoker. Little things like this, that's what it takes. All right, to keep the test fair, what I've done, I've taken these guys and put both the today brine and the all night brine on 3 on each sheet of paper. So that way we can see if there's a difference. We'll take our first sheet, set it a little sideways here, but we're gonna offset it to one side. And then for the next one, we're gonna set it on this side of it, so that way the smoke can kind of work its way around and everything and make that smoked salmon so good. I'm gonna take my thermometer and put it in the thickest cut, so that way when we get to, our goal here is to get to 140. But when we get to about 130, 135, I'm gonna come out here with some maple syrup. Ooh, we're gonna put a glaze on top of it that is nobody's business. I've got it set on the smoke setting, so once it kind of gets that smoke rolling, I'm gonna give it about 15 minutes of just heavy smoke to get that really good flavor in it, and then we'll turn it up to, I believe I'll do it 225. All right, while we're waiting on the smoker, you know those pieces that I had trimmed off? Oh, we ain't putting them to waste. I rubbed them around on the cutting board here, let them suck in some of those, some of them awesome flavors. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna fry them up real quick. Got myself a little, what is this, 10-inch frying pan. We'll set her on medium, plop the butter on a cold pan, and about the time the pan warms up just enough to get the butter melted, let's drop in some salmon. Whoa. All right, our pan has been lubed. Let's go ahead and spread it out a little bit so it covers everything. And now, well, we're just gonna take our little tidbits and set them on there. Now move them around when you first put them down, otherwise they'll stick a little. So we'll just get a little butter coating on everything. Step 1, 2. Gotta move them every once in a while. Don't want them sticking, want them right. All right, got about a minute on one side. Time to flip. Now, just like outside, I'm looking at 140 degrees. So let's see where we're at with our medium one here. Oh yeah, the time has come to get the 2 medium ones. I already got the small ones off. Now, while we're waiting on this, there's 2 things I want to remind you guys of. One, I put links to a lot of the stuff that I have here, and I try to write a funny little story down below. So you guys might want to check that out just for a little more entertainment. And 2, don't forget, we are giving away stickers. That's right, I'm running a little contest until I get to 750 subscribers. I'm going to give away 8 of those stickers to just random folks who email me right here. Just kind of send me a thing that goes, hey, send me a sticker. Of course. And so that's 8 of them. And then the other 2, one of them, if you are the 750th subscriber, send me a screenshot and bam, you win instantly. And if you send me something that's really interesting or cool or unique, I actually got something from a guy down in Australia today that was, it was unique. Let's just say that. So right now he's in the lead, but he can always be toppled. Show me what you got. As for this, well, it's not here to win any beauty awards, but it is definitely going to be here to win some tummy awards, because this stuff right here, once you fry it up like this, oh, skin and all. See y'all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Benson, I love that new River Rat cologne you started wearing. It makes you smell like a beast. Rawr.
And I love that skunk funk perfume of yours. I can almost smell you from a mile away.
You know, it's bad. That rub was so good that I actually forgot to put lemon on it. I had some lemon juice there. I was going to sprinkle it on top of it and give it a little citrusy bite, but it was so far from needing it. I could have done that as a cooking show alone. But onto the salmon. Now, we are almost at 130, and now it's time to make our maple syrup glaze. So to do that, we're going to take our maple syrup and we are going to pour it in here. And close the lid. That's it. We ain't doing nothing but maple syrup on there. Now you could get fancy and you could put some other stuff on it, but why? I mean, this right here is going to give you an awesome flavor profile just on its own. So I got my brush, I got my bowl. Let's go outside. Man, I hate interrupting it right now when it's in the middle of a good smoke run, but I got to get this glaze on there. It's going to be too late. So whoosh. Oh, look at that. Now let's just ease this out a little bit and let's glaze away. We ain't far away from dinner perfection. This is gonna be so good. Ooh, almost forgot. I got a little bit of hot honey I wanna put on the top of a couple of these. Why? Well, I like things a little spicy, so why not? We'll just do this guy right here. And this guy right here. Oh yeah, there we go. We've hit 140 degrees. So let's pull these bad boys off, head in the house. Let's do a little taste test before we serve our guests. And here you have it. About an hour on the smoker is all it took to get this looking oh so right. Now, let's see how the oh so taste is. We'll start with this guy right here, the brine one. And you can see everything is flaking out just like it should be. Oh, got a good firm texture on the outside. Let's see how it tastes on the inside. Well, I guess I was supposed to stop eating it, right? All right, that's good. That is really good. Now let's compare that to the unbrined, just seasoning it today. And we know when we fried those things up, oh, they were amazing. So let's see what we got here. Same thing, everything's coming into flakes. And I do love that hot honey, let me tell you. There's a link below. That stuff is good. And I'll tell you what, both of them are really good. The ones we brined are a little firmer texture. They hold together a little better. But taste-wise, I mean, you've got the seasoning packet on the outside of this, but as far as just the meat itself, bro, I don't know. It's a freaking tie to me because they are both amazing. Now, I've got to plate these things up, bring them to the crew outside. Let's see what they think about it. Here you are, ma'am. Your salmon? That looks and smells fantastic. Thank you. And yours, sir.
That was bloody quick. Thank you.
So there you guys go. 2 different ways to make salmon. One with the overnight brine and one just, well, quick and easy and simple. Both of them on the smoker, both of them tasting good, both of them coming out flaky, but 2 different flavor profiles. Try them both and see which one you like, because realistically, you can't go wrong. And at the end of the day, no matter how much prep work, no matter how much you take care and cook it and taste and everything is just right, you know that Bigfoot is real. Y'all take care. I'm getting some of that salmon. Nothing like a little sweet heat. As I burn my hand putting the rack back in there.